Bienvenidos al podcast de Play Sports Academy. Tengo el honor de presentar el día de hoy a un invitado que viene desde Inglaterra, desde Londres, que nos vino a visitar a México, que la semana pasada estuvimos en el Congreso de United Soccer Coaches en Anaheim. Esta semana se vino a Monterrey con nosotros y ha estado entrenando con nosotros y aprovechamos para sacar un pequeño episodio con él, platicar un poco de su vida y demás. El episodio será en inglés. Entonces, bueno, espero lo puedan disfrutar. Disculpen mi pésimo inglés, pero él lo entenderá perfectamente. Así que, pues bueno, transformamos al inglés y bienvenidos. Martin, how you doing? Introduce yourself to the people in the podcast, please.
Yeah, so my name's Martin Brennan. I've come from all the way from London, and professional goalkeeper coach. Been there for 20 years now, 21 years.
Okay.
I feel like I'm getting old now.
Yeah, I know.
Starting to old.
You don't look. You're like 25, right?
You know when you're getting older, when you bend down and you come back up again, you start making noises. So that's when you know you're getting older.
Especially in the cold weather, right?
Yes. So, excited to be here.
Great. So Martin and I know each other from obviously play, the academy. He worked. How would you explain your relationship with Glove Glue?
So I used to run a business called Developing Goalkeeping UK,
okay.
Which is basically similar to what I do now. When I run that, Paul Sherritt, the owner of Glove Glue,
yes.
Was the marketing director of All Sport.
Okay.
So Paul then decided to move over to Glove Glue. Obviously, he's owned his own business now.
Yes.
And that's the relationship from there. So we always spoke a lot in detail, and we always said one day we wanted to, team up and do some stuff together. So,
nice.
that's the relationship.
So Paul, what's his last name?
Paul Sherritt.
Sherritt, yes. Who's this guy? He's the one that looks like Mr. Bean? Yeah?
He is. I was waiting for you to say that, and I'm pleased you said that, which means I can say it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. So, if you're not sure, then just Google Mr. Bean, and basically it's a copy and paste for the image. But,
same guy.
Exactly the same person. Yeah, it's remarkable. So Paul's been in acting for 30 years, and now he's he's the owner of Glove Glue. So,
Nice. Well, I met Paul last year in Philadelphia in the United Soccer Convention as well, and that's where our relationship started. Yeah, but we've been working with Glove Glue for too much. I believe 4 years or so.
Right.
And it's amazing how Glove Glue products sell in the store. It's amazing. It's incredible. We send them to the like Amazon in Mercado Libre, and they're crazy. Everyone gets them. It's amazing. Yeah. So, and you in Glove Glue, you do the academy, right? Explain a little bit. Explain to the listeners.
So previously, before this, I was a professional goalkeeper coach working from. Managed to start my coaching. Well, I used to obviously play. I was a professional goalkeeper. Okay. Didn't play for too long, and then decided to go into coaching quite early. I was a young. I did my scholarship at Tottenham Hotspur Football Club, and then moved on to a couple of clubs after that, like Charlton Athletic, Cambridge United, and then decided to go into coaching really early.
Okay. Why?
Going into my scholarship at Tottenham as a 16 and a half year old young boy, the dream's there and everything's in front of you.
Yes.
And then probably, I would say, by the time I hit 17 and a half, 18, I felt I was quite mature and just thought, do you know what, I can't see the vision of me playing for, Tottenham Hotspur in the Premier League. I kind of it was crazy, I kind of made that decision myself.
Okay.
So after making that decision,
by yourself, okay.
Yeah, it was crazy, and I thought I probably lacked a lot of confidence then as a young goalie, and then decided to move on anyway and joined Charlton for a couple of years, and then went to Cambridge after that for a little while. But once I got to Cambridge, played a few sort of League Two games, and then just decided that this like coming into it for a year, getting a year contract, and then maybe getting a 2-year contract, I just felt long term this isn't going to be for me. I didn't want to fight year after year for just that insecurity of only maybe getting 1-year contracts or 2-year contracts.
Okay.
And looked at it and thought, well, if I'm not going to be in this, this dream isn't going to happen of playing in the Premier League and earning loads of money and playing at the top level. What does the longer term vision for me look like?
Okay.
And the vision was for me, what was coaching? and you know, decided to go into coaching, work with grassroots goalies, you know, similar to what you guys do here, which is amazing. Then got offered my first job at a club called Leyton Orient, which is in League Two, to work with the academy. Then from there, I then decided to, I had an offer to go into Tottenham. Nice. With my old goalkeeper coach. As coach, yeah. Well, my goalkeeper coach as a kid was Hans Sagers, who played for PSV, played for Tottenham.
My friend.
Yes.
Hans, great.
He was part of the Crazy Gang. It's a club called Wimbledon. He was part of the Crazy Gang. Unbelievable goalkeeper, unbelievable human being. Anyway, he said, why don't you come in and just maybe put a session on, because the relationship was still there. Did a couple of sessions and ended up doing the under-21s. Got the job for the under-21s at Tottenham. Then had an opportunity to go to a club called Wickham with a manager called Peter Taylor. Peter Taylor used to be the manager of the England under-21s, and he actually got the opportunity to manage the first team for England. And he actually gave David Beckham his captaincy. So he was the first one who gave him the band.
Nice.
The captain band. So, but
in
anyway,
the national team.
In the national team.
Wow.
In the main team. So years on, anyway, Peter Taylor got the job at Wickham. Asked me to come in for an interview. Had an interview with him, and then spent 3 seasons at Wickham doing the first team there.
Nice.
Got a couple of promotions, a couple of relegations as well. It was tough. We were good enough to win League Two, but League One was another level. You know, and we kept getting relegated. We kept going up and down. After that, Hans Sagers went to Fulham. Hans invited me in then to do the under-21s at Fulham for 2 years. Goalkeeper coaching.
Perfect.
And then, spent 2 years there with Hans, and then got the opportunity to go up into the first team at Fulham, which was amazing experience, you know.
Nice. Great experience for this. So I'm going to back up a little bit. When you were talking about the decision you made by yourself about going into coaching, abandoning the decision of being a professional player, right? So you say you did this decision by yourself, right? Do you regret this decision?
No, not at all. Do I regret not playing as long as I could have maybe played?
Yeah.
Maybe. But knowing the qualities I had as a goalkeeper and the qualities I see and the opportunities I've had as a coach, you know, as a coach, I've managed to coach, you know, for Fulham in the Premier League, the Championship. You know, Wickham was League One, Leyton Orient was League Two. So I worked at a club called Boreham Wood as well, which is the National League. So I've managed to work at first team level in every league at the top 5 leagues in England. So for me, looking back, I go, no. For me, there's no regret. There's no way I'd have played in the Premier League as a goalie.
And if you want to answer this, maybe it's too personal.
No.
Why were you making this decision by yourself?
I think it was probably a lack of confidence. It was a lack of belief.
In yourself or
in myself? Yeah. I felt like I had fantastic people around me, but never really felt, looking back now from my experience as a coach, I never really felt that I had someone that would help me mentally through the stuff that was going on in my head. You know? Which is why now I'm so big on trying to build these young kids up.
Totally.
You know, so you'll see them make a mistake and, you know, I'll laugh and joke about it with them. And then move on and go, listen, it's going to happen, we move on. So I think there's no way I regret. No.
And do you have any, like, something to tell these kids, maybe that are struggling with the decisions right now? Maybe 15, 16 years old, that are maybe thinking about going pro or trying to, or they have an opportunity to do it. Do you have, like, any advice you can give these guys?
They've got to be patient.
They've
got to be patient, and I think if they're patient, they give themselves a longer opportunity and a gap for them to potentially get into them positions that they want to be in. But especially as a goalie, as we all know, the likelihood is you're probably not going to come through at 16, 17. it's probably going to be, especially in the English game.
Yes.
You know, for a goalie to come into a first team at 16, 17 and make it, if you like, is just, it's so unrare. It just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Normally, it will happen a lot later, you know. So for me as a 16-year-old, 17-year-old, maybe 18-year-old boy, I'm trying to work out my life and my pathway, but really, I had no idea, and I hadn't really even started the journey. Yes. You know, okay, I've been playing in golf for, 8, 9 years, but the real professional journey was only really just potentially starting.
Yeah.
So my advice to the young guys is that, yes, you're going to make mistakes. Enjoy making the mistakes. Totally. You know, the training ground for me now is a place to experiment.
Okay.
Experiment.
Yes.
You know, so you're going to, some things are not going to go as well as you want. That's the place for me to try it. You don't really want to be trying that in a game. So being patient, using the training ground as an experience to experiment, and you know, you just you've got to keep going. You know, you've got to keep going, and you've got to find. And I try to explain this to young goalies, and I actually had this conversation a couple of days ago with an American guy. Mm-hmm. There's going to be hundreds of people that don't like you as a player.
Yes.
You only need to find 1 or 2 people that are going to like you, and they're going to back you, and you're going to stick with that. So, you know, the times that people are saying, no, we're not sure, or no, you're not for me, or you're not good enough, or that's fine. There's not going to be, you know, and if you are one of them Lionel Messi's or Ronaldo's where everybody likes you, okay, fine, they're one-offs. But there's, you know, every professional's got one.
Yeah.
Completely. Every professional has got a story where they'll say, well, you know, I got released from this club and they didn't like us. And, you know, they sit normally at a pro club, they'll sit around a room, especially when they're younger, and there'll be 10 coaches. Yes. And they're trying to sort of vote and work out whether they're going to give that player another chance. There may be one that likes you out of the 10. Yeah. So, okay, you might not get anything there, but that one person might go off to the next club, be a manager, and they go, remember, we can bring
this guy.
Yes. Yeah, so there's not going to be thousands of people that like you. There may be a handful. Yeah. You just got to keep going and find them.
That's complicated. I mean, that's that's what it's all about, right? Because it's not easy getting pro. Sometimes the opportunity comes early.
Yes.
To make like a big step. Yeah, maybe get closer to it.
Yeah.
But then the being there, that doesn't mean that you already made it, like you said. So in Mexicans, that happens a lot. Like they get the opportunity to go in the pro team, the first team.
Yeah.
They play like 5 minutes, and they believe they already made it. Yeah. So they relax.
Yeah.
I got my money now. I got my contract, and they relax. And there's no other limit. You know, I made it. That's what I wanted to happen. So I believe you had a lot of players with this kind of situation, or no, or it doesn't happen in England.
I think there's hundreds of goalies in that position. You know, but
especially goalkeepers, because
especially goalies.
they play when they're older, right? Or no?
Yes, completely, yeah. What tends to happen in England is I always remember being at Fulham and Wickham, where we try to set up like what we call a loan system. Okay. So what used to happen is when the boys used to hit 16, 17, nearly 18, instead of me putting them in the under-18s team, because I used to love working with all the goalies. I used to love managing all the goalies, or as many goalies as I can at the club. So when they hit 16, 17, 18, instead of trying to aim to play in the under-18s, we would send them to another club that was 2, 3, 4, 5 leagues lower to play in the first team to gain experience.
Okay, minutes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But put themselves in the, I call it the market. They're putting themselves in the market. So under-18 football in England and under-21 football in England is great, but for us, for goalies, it's not first-team environment. Okay. You know? So we'll send these goalies out to lower league or non-league clubs that we call them, and they'll play minutes, they'll get games, they'll understand how dressing rooms work, they'll understand how the men in that dressing room work as well. So the wages, for example, within that dressing room may be £50 a week, £100 a week, £200 a week. So every point that they get is vital to their family setup. Yeah. So instead of it sort of being a 21s game where, you know, they're sort of passing around, there's not much pressure. Yeah. These boys need to win. You know, they have to. You know, they're trying to. You know, they're trying to win every single game, and for the goalies to experience that, you know, is priceless. You know, working under some of the clubs where the floodlights are not great, and the pitch isn't brilliant and the balls are not as good.
Yes.
If they can work at that level and they can get a consistent level and performance, that's great. We then move them up to the next stage.
Yeah.
You know, but they're in the marketplace.
Okay, I get it now. Yeah,
they're in the marketplace where they're actually getting official minutes at men's senior football rather than a 21. So for me, I'm not a massive believer for goalkeepers in the under 18s and 20, 21 or 23 setups, as we call it. Not a massive lover of it. I'd love to just send them out on loan, you know? No, so that's how we try and overcome the question that you asked. That's why we try and overcome that way.
Well, yeah, it's good. I mean, it works.
Yeah.
Because it's a different system than in Mexico.
Right.
In Mexico, as long as you're going up,
yeah,
you never go down again. You know, unless your career's over.
Yeah.
That's as easy as that. You know, some goalkeepers like get a shot once every never. You know, especially Mexicans, because in the league we have like half and half Mexicans. You know, half Mexicans, half foreigners.
Yeah.
And it's not easy for them because the opportunities are less. In the UK, you have a lot of leagues, and they all pay money. They all work perfectly as a structure, as a business, as whatever. And in Mexico, only the pro teams are the good ones, right? Yeah. So, well, that's why in our academy, we focus on well, there's a number, I always say this. One player in every 500,000, in Mexico at least, get to a national team. Yeah. So why focus on that? We focus on the other 499,999 people, you know?
Yeah,
I mean, it's better for us. So we try to make a living for those guys, right? Yeah. So, but well, it's amazing. I know the opportunities in England are way far better and in quantity, much more than Mexico, right? Yeah. So that's why I ask for people to understand this. How does it work, right? Yeah. So where you work, how or what do you look for in a goalkeeper? 2 questions. That's one, okay, for him to play with you, okay, in the team. And what do you prefer? Like a goalkeeper that is, like we always say this example, like Iker Casillas, with his like a clean goalkeeper. Yeah, he never falls down. He never, you know, he was clean as hell. Yeah, or a showman, which a good showman, you know. But what do you prefer, and how do you do it at
I think club? If we're explaining it, that if I'm working at a first team club,
where you're working at,
with the academy. Or if I'm at a pro club.
Yeah, if you are at a club. Yes,
if I'm in a club.
Yeah, sorry, I expressed myself incorrectly, but yes, exactly what I wanted.
So if I'm working at a club and the club's paying me a wage, which supports my family, I'm looking for someone that's going to be consistent.
Okay.
So we do lots of so if we're going to try and sign a goalkeeper, we'll do lots of background checks. So I want to know if they've got a family, have they got a wife, have they got a husband, have they got kids, what area do they live in, what age are they, you know. I'll speak to other goalkeeper coaches, I'll speak to managers, do they like a drink, because remember historically within the English game, not so much now, but years ago, it used to be that, you know, the guys were heavy drinkers.
Yes.
Do they gamble? There's lots of things we look at for that first.
Okay.
But for me, I call it the 7 out of 10 performer.
7 out of
7 out of 10 performer. Yeah. So if we've got 50 games over the season, I don't want someone that's going to give me a 9 for 2 weeks out of 10, and then they're going to give me a 5 out of 10.
Okay.
And an 8 out of 10, and then a 3 out of 10. I just want someone that's going to be able to perform at a 7 out of 10 within that level consistently over 40, 50, 60 games.
Okay. Nice.
So then when you're talking about techniques and the tactical side of it, that's then obviously a discussion with the manager. Are they a team that want to, you know, play short and try and build and play out from the back? Or are they a team that just going to get the ball further up the pitch and get the team up there? If they're a team that's going to get the ball up to the other end, obviously we need a good, you know, long-range passer. If they're a team that, you know, that want to keep a high line, there's a couple of clubs in England I can think about that keep like a ridiculous high line. Like when they're defending from their box, like they'll all be in one half. And you're looking from the goalie's point of view, you know, you're standing on the 18-yard line and your nearest player for you is the halfway.
Yes.
You know, and sometimes that's quite, you know, it's quite scary really, because you've got all this space in front of you. So if it's that sort of team, I'd probably want a goalie that's going to be good and effective at 1v1s, because the likelihood is they're going to get behind you and there's going to be a lot of 1v1s. So I think to answer that is probably the conversation. You'd need to find out the philosophy from the manager, but I'd want someone that's, as I say, the 7 out of 10 performer is a big thing for me. And you might say, oh, that's really hard to find, but because I've been lucky to work at every level. You try and find that the best or most effective 7 out of 10 performer at that level as you can. If you then get an opportunity to move up the leagues, okay, you may need to now get the next one up and work with them. Yeah. And I like characters. I like people that are open-minded. You know. Okay. I've done a lot of work with a guy called Rob Blackburn, who's in England, does a lot of like mindset stuff with professional players. And I do a podcast similar, and I started this out, and the first one I did, I sent it to him, and I said, "What do you think?" He said, "You're boring."
Okay.
I'm like, "What do you mean I'm boring?" He said, "You're too professional. Okay. You've gone too professional." Okay. So now you try and be a bit more relaxed with them, and that philosophy for me has gone into the guys that I want to work with. Yeah. There's a balance. Yes. Totally. You know, when we're working, listen, we're working, and you're fighting for your family, I'm fighting for mine. Yeah. But then when we turn that switch off, listen, I want to have a good, I want to have a good time here. We want to have a good laugh. Yes. Totally. So to have someone that's quite like-minded, that's prepared to learn, but they don't take themselves too seriously, because you spend a lot of time together in a professional environment. Yeah. A hell of a lot of time. Yeah. You know,
away from home, away from family.
Oh, completely. Yes. And I think if you're working from probably League 2 upwards. I mean, even some Championship Premier League clubs, they'll stay overnight on home games on a Friday. So if they're playing Saturday, they'll go to a hotel Friday, even if they're playing a home game, because the money's there to do it. Yes, so you spend a lot of time together. So yeah, for me, it's that 7 out of 10 performer. Okay. And someone that you can actually spend a little bit of time. Not a best friend, because I don't believe in that. I don't think you can be too close. Yes. But you need to have a relationship with someone that you're going to work with. Nice. Okay. And which one do you prefer? Like a clean goalkeeper, or the showman, or like has a lot of character? And well, because I'm going to ask you this, because here in Monterrey, our listeners know this. In Rayados, we had a goalkeeper that's called Jonathan Orozco, a good goalkeeper. I trained with him years ago, but this guy has a lot of character. Right. So when the derbies came in here, Monterrey Tigres, he's the one that absorbed all the tension, all the pressure from the stands. Yeah. He's the one that absorbed it. Yeah. Like everyone, look at me, you know. Yeah. So everyone focused on him. He doesn't participate as much as the players, you know, because he's the goalkeeper, and the other guys were left alone. Yeah. And so they could perform, you know. And he has a lot of character like that. Then Nahuel Guzman, the goalkeeper for Tigres today, he's like that. Yeah. Only he's Argentinian. So imagine the personality he has, right? Yeah. He's like real good, and he's the best goalkeeper there is. Right. I hate him because he's Tigres, but he's the best goalkeeper there is. I mean, I admire that from him. But you can get the goalkeepers can absorb that, can be that with that character, you know. And but he's a showman. He does things that no one does. Like there's a long ball and he goes like one hand in the semifinal, you know. Or he stops it with the chest or whatever, stuff like that. So what do you prefer? Whoever's going to perform at a 7 out of 10, week in, week out. Okay. Whatever he looks like. Okay. That's what I want. Nice. Okay. So whether they wear their shorts right up their backside, or whether they wear their shorts down to their knees, or whether they're short sleeve tops or long sleeve tops, or when I was younger, I probably would have said not that guy. Okay. Nice. But now I've got older. You think, do you know what? He's look. If he keeps a clean sheet, he doesn't concede a goal. Yeah. And I'm at a club, I might have a clean sheet bonus in my contract. Yeah. I don't care what he looks like. as long as he's performing week in, week out, and he's a 7 out of 10 over 50, 60, 70 games, for me, it's the most effective goalie that can play in that position.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, great answer.
Pink top, orange top, purple top, you know, and all this, you know, the combination now with the boots and the gloves, and they've got to match colour, and all this for me is absolutely irrelevant. Okay. It doesn't matter to me.
So only in the results then?
Yeah, because they're
performance.
Exactly, and these players, when you're at a professional club, these players are playing for you as well. Yeah. They're playing for your current wages.
For your contract.
Exactly, potentially for your next one. You know, if he keeps keeping clean sheets, we move up the league. The truth is that the financial situation will change for you.
Yes,
you know,
totally.
So
help each other out.
Completely, yeah. So for me, it doesn't matter what they look like.
Yeah.
You know, if you give me a 4-foot goalie and he's going to play in League Two and perform it week in, week out, and he's going to keep clean sheets, we go with the 4-foot goalie.
Yeah, totally. Nice.
Which has never been seen, by the way. So there's never been a 4-foot goalie ever in the English leagues. But no, I'm really, really big on, and I think that's the older I've got and the more mature probably that I've got, that whether they're quiet, whether they're outgoing. I mean, I've worked with so many different characters, so many different guys that some have headphones in before games. Some like to laugh and joke. You know, they're walking around, they're pulling the guy's shorts down, and they're joking. And I'll happily share this. We've had a couple of years ago at Boreham Wood was probably the strongest group of people that I've probably worked with in terms of how close we all were. Okay. And they used to put sweets in the dressing room before the game, like wine gums and jelly babies and a couple of not couple, mainly one person, a guy called Scott Bowden. Okay. He used to spray all of these, you know, with deodorant. He used to spray all of them and put them back really neatly, you know. Okay. So the players would come in, go to eat it, and spit them out. You know, so for me, I love that sort of environment where people are buying into what you're trying to achieve as a team. And if the goalkeeper has got that, brilliant. You know, if they haven't, but they're still that nice 7 out of 10 performer, we go with it.
Nice.
So
okay, great. Okay. So now, how do you help goalkeepers to achieve this kind of? I mean, I know it's a personality thing. Maybe not everyone has it, but how do you work with the goalkeepers to achieve like this type of performance? You know, like what do you do with them in the academy for them to improve in certain ways and perform better in that 7 point out of 10?
I think for me, it's probably in the last 6-7 years, is trying to keep things as simple as possible.
At training?
At training, but more so maybe in the analysis stuff that you do. Okay. You know, the analysis work, whether it's in a classroom or wherever it is. Yeah. Let's try and keep everything as simple as we can. Okay. And I've worked with lots of managers, and not so much the managers, but I've worked with lots of coaches that just seem to make things so complicated that half of the room of players have no idea what they're talking about. Like, no idea, generally. Yeah. And for me, that's a truth, because I've actually gone and asked them after. So you know what you're doing? Well, I said, listen, if you don't, it's not a problem. But you have to say. Yeah. No, I've got no idea what I'm doing. Okay. So for me, over the years, I've learned, let's keep it simple. Okay. So if we're going to work on, say, the back pass, the ball coming to your feet, obviously you can't pick it up. Yes. For me, a really simple message is, you know, you're taking, and I'll teach this with the kids, as the ball's travelling back, you're making a decision, are you going to take 1 touch, as in pass first time, or are you going to take 2 touch? Don't need to complicate it. Yeah. I don't see any goalie, you know, touch the ball and then take 5, 6, 7, 8 touches, and then they're dribbling. Okay, if you're trying to get the team up the pitch, fine. You might take a few more touches, but as it's travelling back, you're taking 1 or 2. If you're taking 2, what does it look like? Is it going short, wide, or longer? Okay. So I think to try and make the message as simple as possible does help. Okay. Because I've watched, especially goalkeeper coaches, I've watched the sessions, and you're kind of trying to work out what is the main aim, because for me, there's too much going on. Yeah. And I know it sounds like a criticism, but I'm confused. I think if anyone goes up to a session, you know, say you're putting a session on here and I turn up halfway through.
Yeah.
I believe in the first 30 seconds of me watching, I should know what the topic is.
Okay.
I should know what, and that's not me as a professional goalie coach. That should be anyone.
Yeah, and a kid like understand what they're doing.
Exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And by the time that hour finishes, or normally within an hour, that hour finishes, they have a better understanding of what you've tried to help them with.
Yeah, something that happens to us. Like we're working here. Sometimes we're in a hurry or whatever, and we forget like to tell the kids what we're trying to work that day. Like let's start.
Yeah.
And then we forget that the objective of the day.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe the kid got it, maybe not. Right. Maybe he improved in something else and not on what we wanted to.
Yeah.
You know? So, yeah, it's important. Like, keep it simple. I love it.
But the philosophy behind keeping it simple is also asking the people you're working with questions.
Okay.
So I work, and a lot of this links to this guy again, and you should probably mention this actually to a lot of your guys. Is this guy called Rob Blackburn. He's working with truths and versus like feelings.
Okay.
So if I say, so you've taken the session, you've done an hour, yeah? And you come off and I say to you, what do you think? And you say, I think they enjoyed it. I think they took loads from it.
Okay.
The only way you find out the truth is if you ask the kids.
A survey. yeah.
And then you ask the kids and they go, I don't know what we were doing.
Yeah, okay.
Or, what have you, I don't know, I've not learned anything. I don't understand what that hour was. Or they may go, loved it. I loved it. And you go, okay, so give me 2 points that the coach has put in there. Oh, you keep your eye on the ball and whatever. You know, you cross your legs or whatever it is.
Yes.
Ah, perfect. So the truth now is that they've actually learnt something.
Yeah.
Rather than you coming off and saying, yeah, I think they've done really well. I think they enjoyed it. They took loads from it.
Yeah.
But you don't know that.
Yeah.
So
that's
for me,
our perspective, you know.
Yeah,
totally.
keeping it simple is asking, what did you learn today?
Yeah.
You know, we done a session yesterday. I love at the end of the session to put them on the spot.
Yeah,
and I've never worked with the kids, but it doesn't matter. What have you learned? And it goes quiet, and it takes a bit of time. Well, maybe I learned to try.
They didn't knew. I mean,
of course,
Totally.
Maybe I could have tried to do this, and I come out too fast, or my legs are open, or okay. So what I'm telling you isn't the way that you have to do it, but it's another way.
Yes.
You know, and they go off excited to go, oh, it's another. You know, it's the same for us in life.
Next time, yes.
Yeah, but it's the same for us in life. You find something else that you like and you get excited by it.
Totally.
And then eventually it dies off a little bit. But going back to it, for me, keeping it as simple as you can, knowing what the aim is and trying to stay on that pathway and not keep veering off, you know?
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Good answer.
Thanks.
Okay, so now...
I copied that.
From who?
I just looked on YouTube and he said, say this. Boom. So hopefully it's right.
You saw my questions before then. Okay, now I get it. Now it's all innovation here. No, there's no script. Let me turn off this. Okay, so now at the end of every episode we do, Eugenio. Hello, Eugenio. Every time we do several questions, like whatever comes to your mind. Don't overthink it, okay? There are like 15 questions or so let's go easy, okay?
Quick fire.
If you want to express yourself in one of them, go ahead, okay? Don't worry.
Is it like chocolate or crisps?
Yeah,
what one?
Totally. Yeah,
beautiful.
Easy.
Crisps. But anyway, that's not the question.
There wasn't one, but I love
There's
it.
one
I
for
love
you.
the answer. Yes. So, okay. First thing comes to your mind, okay? Number one, the past of Martin. You thought they were going to be easy. No, they're not easy.
No, they're not easy. Mentally weak.
Okay.
Unsure. Yeah.
Nice.
But moved into, found probably, they say when you travel, you find yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe for me around 23, 24.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can do this. For me, 32, so it's okay.
Yeah.
Last week, no.
So yeah, I'll always be honest. I work on honesty.
Yeah.
Unsure, lost. Okay, you're at Tottenham, great. I was lost.
Yeah.
I didn't know what was going on.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Nice. Okay. The present of Martin. Present today.
Driven.
Okay.
Passionate. A drive. Vision. Family.
Nice.
Yeah. Enjoying the moment. Enjoying like now.
Nice.
Trying not to worry too much. Tomorrow, just we're here. I'm loving the podcast. I'm loving this place.
Nice.
Absolutely loving this place.
Perfect.
You know, and then review when we get back. I can think more, but today.
Nice. Live the moment. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. The future of Martin.
Traveling.
Okay.
With the family.
Cancun.
Yes, I've had some nice advice about that. Yeah, but maybe work and play coming together with travel.
Okay. Yeah.
I love going on holiday with a family, and it doesn't matter if it's 1 day, 5 weeks. Doesn't matter. Just I love going.
Okay.
So the vision now is trying to get camps and stuff abroad, but take the family as well.
Nice. Yeah.
So
this is a good life. Yeah.
It's not easy, but yeah, the long term is traveling with the family.
Like the circus, you know, like when traveling with the family, everyone went. Yes,
exactly.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Your mentor.
Does it have to be one?
It could be anyone.
I think my dad.
Yeah.
My mum, without a doubt.
Good people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great people.
Currently, probably Paul Sherritt.
Yeah.
Paul Sherritt. Rob Blackburn I've done lots of work with, and people listening to this should generally go and look. He's
we will.
Very, very powerful guy, very light-hearted, but I think that's a tough question, that. Because I think over life you have like now, you know, like now I think my relationship with Paul, for example, is getting stronger and stronger. You know, and I can ring him up and say, Paul, look, this has happened, what do you think? And he'll go, whatever it is. So I think you have different mentors throughout. Some people have one the whole way through, which is fine.
Yeah.
But I think they have to change as you change and life evolves.
Okay.
So
totally.
For me, there's a few.
Perfect. Your inspiration.
And my wife. I've got to mention that.
Nice.
My wife as well. Yeah. So go on. Sorry.
Your inspiration.
As a goalkeeper.
Okay.
For me, would have. I did my scholarship, as I said, at Tottenham. I used to love working with Ian Walker. He played for Tottenham for many years. Played for Leicester. He's out in China, I think now. He played for England a few times. Okay. Just as a young boy, you just looked up and thought, I don't know. He just has it. He had everything. I loved spending time with him.
Nice.
As a coach, I have to say my time at Fulham with a guy called Vic Bettinelli, for me has trying to put in not a perfect, because it sounds cheesy, but the way he works is unbelievable. Okay. As a person off the pitch, as a family person, as a person on the pitch, the fun he has with whether it's kids, whether it's I have tried, and I said always be honest. I'll try and mould myself around. Vic Bettinelli, his son, I worked with for 2 years. Felt very nervous going into Fulham. Because Vic Bettinelli was a goalkeeper coach for years at Fulham, still is, and his son was there, and I sort of came in, and my role now is to kind of work with his son, and that was tough. That was really tough. I can imagine, really tough. Yes. But now he is Marcus Bettinelli. He's third choice at Chelsea. So he's gone to another level. So, but yeah, Vic is my current kind of, and he probably won't know that. It's better. Then he will try to do things that maybe don't work. Completely, I always say that.
Nice. Easy question. Pele or Maradona?
Oh. What is yours?
Mine?
I'm trying to buy more time for myself.
Maradona. For me, at least.
I would probably say Pele.
Okay.
Just because there's not a fantastic bit of history with the Maradona situation.
Yeah.
And England.
Agreed. Yes.
And I was lucky to have a meeting with Peter Shilton, who was the goalie. And yeah, some of the things he was saying was, I can imagine, would be very tough to accept.
Totally. Yes.
Very. Yes. And I think for years they tried to get them two on the stage on a show together.
No way.
So no way.
No way.
So so that's the only reason I'm going to go with Pele. But
but as a cultural thing in UK, it's logical to go Pele.
To do it and to kind of admit it, and then to see it over and over again, you're like, it's not like whether we thought it was slightly this or that. It was, But anyway, it's another podcast, that one.
Yeah. Okay, Messi or Cristiano?
Do you know that there's two parts for me. The bit that I love about Messi is you never see him in the press.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know if it's because it's a different country. I just find he seems to just go off on his own and just do his own thing, and I don't find him a showman at all.
Yeah, okay.
Ronaldo I find a little bit more of a showman, but on the other side, Ronaldo seems to, with his work rate, he just doesn't give up.
Yeah.
He just seems the constant, and he's still in the gym. I think it's funny because when he retires, it'd be interesting to see what happens. Yeah. Does he become the big Ronaldo because he's done it for so many years, or does he go even more and he's going to do 5 marathons in 3 days or something like that? I don't know. So
maybe
if I had to, then for me, Messi. I think.
Perfect. The best UK goalkeeper of all time for you?
Of all time.
UK.
I'm 41, so as I was growing up, David Seaman was probably, not a showman.
Yeah.
Like, not a showman, like you said about earlier. Not a showman. He's not going to have his socks pulled up, and he's got his short sleeve, and he's just like, for me, like the perfect, what I was trying about, 7 out of 10 performer. Yeah. Just like, probably 8 out of 10 performer over 20 years, whatever.
Okay.
Just
nice.
He's probably my philosophy in terms of being simple, like down to a T.
Okay, nice.
Just really simple and just kept performing. He was outstanding.
Okay. And the best goalkeeper of all time, worldwide?
Oh.
For me, it's an easy one because in my time,
What nationality is your one?
Italian.
Yeah, I know that is already.
Exactly.
I think you got something up there on the wall.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I know that is. That's a tough question. Really tough. I used to hear a lot about Pat Jennings. Pat Jennings played for Tottenham and Arsenal and Northern Ireland. So I had an opportunity to work with him at Tottenham for a while. He coached me for a bit. He just seemed, and the stories I heard about him was ridiculous. So he, for me, would be close.
Okay.
But I don't know. That's too hard. That's too hard. Because it's one of them things, when you answer, people listening are going,
hey, why?
What?
Yeah.
Why did you choose him? He wouldn't be in my top 10.
Yeah.
If I had to choose, maybe similar to yours. So I'll let you release your one.
Buffon?
Yeah, I think,
Yeah, Gianluigi.
I think
the thing is, when I went into other podcast of a friend of ours, Victor, he asked me which one was the best goalkeeper, the actual best goalkeeper in the league in Mexico.
Right.
And I declined to answer.
Really?
So because of that, some people are gonna come at you like, hey, don't do that, or why him, or whatever. So no answer,
Yeah, it's a tough. I think a good question on that is the top. Maybe when you have time, is the top 10 or the top 5 of each nationality. Because that would be difficult.
That would be a good episode.
Yeah, it would.
To go into that.
Yes, 100%.
Yes. So, what's your? This is obvious. I mean, your top league of the world, but you're going to say Premier League. I don't see it going any other way.
No, I think, because you live there, you see everything. Yes. You assume there's nowhere else. There's nowhere else better than this. Yeah. But then, if you're in Italy, you're probably saying the same. If you're in Spain, you're probably saying the same. Barcelona and Real Madrid. If you've got these two sides in a league, how can it not be the best?
Yes.
I think money brings. I think money puts that up, and where the Premier League is at the minute is crazy. With Saudi, you could say, listen, they're spending obviously it hasn't got a history. At the minute, it hasn't got a history, but I think so. Okay. I think it is.
The Premier.
Yeah, and I don't want that to say, oh, he's English, and obviously he's going to say that, but I think it's and what I would say is throughout the leagues in England, for example, the Championship is an extremely tough. It's like one of the toughest leagues, I believe.
Leicester and
to get the league, the clubs in the Championship are crazy.
Yeah,
you know. So yeah, for people to get out of that to get in the Premier League is just as hard, I believe.
No, totally. Okay, last question. This is you can decline to answer. I can do another question, but for you, for Martin, okay?
Yep.
Working in a professional club.
Yep.
Or working at an academy. Developing, because you're developing players there, you know, but it's a complete different objective. So which one is better, at least for you?
As in academy at a professional club, or academy like outside of professional clubs?
Outside.
Outside?
Yeah, it's different people, you know?
Listen, I'm in Mexico. I'm in Mexico. Yeah. So for me, if I'm at a professional club at the minute, I'm not sitting here in Mexico.
Okay.
So for me to be able to have the flexibility to be able to move around.
Nice.
When I say do what I want, it doesn't mean that I have a family, but
and Paul.
I have a and Paul. I think he's going to move in soon. I think at the minute, academy. Like
nice.
There's so much coming. You know, we spent 3 days in America. Come here for 3 days in Mexico, then I'm going back to America again. Yeah. We've just confirmed a camp in Sweden. Yeah. We've confirmed a camp in Cyprus, in Holland. Nearly confirmed Japan.
Okay, nice.
So when we said, you asked me earlier about the question, your question said about, you know, what does it look like now and what does it look like for the future?
Yeah.
For me to take the family to all these places and do my work and enjoy coaching and meeting, you know, these young kids trying to work their way through life. Okay. At the minute,
that's the one.
100% academy.
Nice.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. And those are all the questions.
Okay, nice. That went fast.
You went like 9.5 maybe.
Oh no.
Yeah.
7 out of 10. Yeah. That's what I want.
That's what we're looking for. So now for closing the episode, we always ask our guests to say a phrase that defines them. It could be something that you say in every training.
Yeah.
It could be something that you live by.
Yeah.
Or you can, like my phrase that I have in the office, you know.
Can you share your phrase?
I love, this is my favorite movie of all time.
Right.
And it's it says, what we do in life echoes in eternity.
Okay.
So that's like my motto for living, you know.
So for me, that's quite fancy. That's quite an intelligent answer.
But yeah,
I'm not an intelligent person.
Because it's not my first episode that they asked me this, you know.
Fine.
So the first time I was like, good one, something stupid. Yeah. So now I managed to do it. But for you,
I know mine already, and they have them. I have them on all when I run these camps. We have a classroom workshop booklet, so I do loads of classroom sessions. Yeah. And at the bottom, for the past 16 years, it says, "There's no rights and wrongs in goalkeeping."
No rights or wrongs
in goalkeeping.
Okay.
And my philosophy of coaching, I don't believe that's gonna change for me, because the frustration is, you know, you get a young kid that comes to you and he's been with another coach, which is fine, and he'll say, "Oh, the coach says I have to do this," and no, I have to have my hands here and I have to have my feet here. And there's a shot from 25 yards out, I have to be 3 yards from the line. Mm-hmm. And that, I struggle with that, because when you look at Premier League goalies, for example, Hugo Lloris, that was at Tottenham, he will stand for a shot 25 yards out, he will stand a foot off of his goal line.
Okay.
Right? For a shot that's 25, 26, whatever yards. Peter Cech, Gomez, who play for Watford, PSV, Tottenham. These guys will stand 6, maybe 7 yards out.
Yes.
And then they say, well, there's difference in height and speed, and forget that for the minute. They stand completely different.
Yes.
And my case is, they're both millionaires, they've both played for their country, and they both played in one of the biggest leagues in the world.
Yeah.
So if that coach is saying, you have to do this, he must then say one of them two goalies, a Larissa or a Gomez or a Pichet, is wrong.
Yeah.
So how can he say one of them is wrong if they've had such a successful career?
Yeah.
That's the bit I struggle with.
Totally.
So anyone that tells me you have to do it this way as a goalkeeper, I think is utter rubbish.
Yeah.
Because everyone is different, and you find out there may be a more effective way than another, which is fine, and we'll work on it.
Yeah.
But for me, yeah, there's no rights and wrongs in goalkeeping.
Nice. Perfect answer. I told you, I asked you before the episode to say this, but it's okay.
But it is on, and I can prove it. It's on my thing. It's been on there for 16 years.
I believe you.
Yeah.
It's a good answer. So that's it for today. We had a good chat.
Yes.
Hope we can do this again, maybe in London.
Yes, definitely.
During summer.
Need to get you over, don't we?
Yeah, we have to.
Yeah.
We have to start. Well, not start. Finish planning the summer, right?
Yeah, because obviously we've got the Nationals, which is held in just outside of London, literally 15, 16 minutes drive out of London.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's coming up in end of July, start of August. Got kids coming from potentially, again this year, coming from all over the world.
Yes.
Romanians.
From Mexico as well.
Yeah, Romanians, Greek guys. Who else we got? From England. From
You had an Ukrainian guy last year,
Ukraine.
right?
Yeah, the list was, I think it was a Spanish guy, Portuguese guy, all over.
Yeah,
So
nice.
the aim is to bring you guys over again.
Yes, of
show
course.
you more of London.
Of course.
And England.
Yeah.
Take you to a few pubs.
Yeah. Not drinking, but yes.
Not drinking, but a few pubs. So yeah, so it'd be good.
Perfect. So well, thank you so much for being with us. We hope to today. It's really cold, but we're gonna try to work some sessions in the afternoon. And there anything else you could add? Want to add? No. Yes.
No, just that. Listen, I've loved being here. The place that you guys got here at Play is amazing. And I generally I've FaceTimed. I was saying earlier to the guys, I've FaceTimed probably 3 coaches.
Yeah.
Just showing them round.
Nice.
You know, because it's a fantastic environment that you guys set here. The people are very welcoming. I love when the kids walk through the door. I stood and I watched the kids walk through the door, and I didn't tell you this, but when they walk through the door, it's like they're coming into their second home. They feel really comfortable. They feel at ease. They come over. They give you a high five, you know, and it's a lovely environment. And I've been lots of places, and it's not all like that. No, the kids look a bit worried and scared, and so no, what you guys do here is amazing.
Thank you for that. Well, thank you so much for being here. Hope to see you soon in summer.
Yep.
In July. And if they want to follow you, they can find you someone in Instagram. Do you do that?
Yeah, we do Instagram, and trying to keep up with it is tough. But Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. There's 2. Well, the main website is obviously Glove Glue, so you can go on there and look, and you see that says coaching, or just go to gloveglue.academy, which links then to all the camps, or the nationals.co.uk, which is the big event. So
nice. Yes, it's coming. Everyone, thank you for being here. Hope that you had a good time here.
Amazing.
And we'll be in touch. Bye bye.
Thank you.